If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough by Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The size of your dreams must always exceed your current capacity to achieve them. If your dreams do not scare you, they are not big enough.
Hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Gwanda Nyazeka. If it's your first time here, we are talking about everything entrepreneurship, financial education, running your own business as well as agriculture or farming. Please consider subscribing. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much guys for always coming. And thank you so much to the people who come to my social media platforms to suggest the ways I can improve the channel in this content. So today I'm not in the Eastern Cape and I'm also not in Johannesburg, but I'm here in Carletonville in a township called Kutsong, and I'm meeting the farmer next to me, Mr. Mvelase. He's going to tell us about his farming journey. So yeah guys, as you know that Carletonville is popularly known for the deepest mine in the world. But today I'm not here to find out about mining, but I'm here to find a farmer who's doing the most, even though he's situated in a place which is not so welcoming in terms of farming because there is really small space. But despite that, he's doing the most, as you can see. So he's going to tell us about his farming journey. Yeah guys, as I always say, that I'm inspired and motivated when I meet young people who are at the forefront in ensuring food security in our country, so we are going to hear his farming journey, and before I let him introduce himself, I'm going to tell you what I know about him, and he's going to unpack that and tell us how all this beautiful work started. So Mr. Mvelase is an organic farmer based here in Kutsong, extension 2, in Carletonville. I started farming in 2020. Yeah, that was during lockdown, and he's farming in a different way, which is not done by a lot of people, I think, which is organic farming. And his brand name is Back to the Roots Farming. So along the way, he has met interesting people and interesting organizations that have helped him to maneuver and give him skills and knowledge of how to make this project a success. So we are going to have conversation with him, and he's going to tell us about all of that. Mr. Mvelase, thank you so much for allowing me to come to your space and also coming to our space, which is our YouTube channel. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you.
So the first thing I'm going to ask you is to introduce yourself. I see here you are farming a lot of vegetables, and what I like about it is that it's organically grown, which is a variety and different vegetables ranging from green peppers, your yellow peppers, your tomatoes, spinach, cabbage, and a whole lot of things. So can you please introduce yourself? Tell us, who is Mr. Mvelase? Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Mvelase from Kutsong Skopas, Carletonville. I grew up in Kutsong, raised by my father. Well, my mother was working a lot. So basically, my father was a farmer. He was farming vegetables, so I always had a farming journey with him. So usually I'm not new from farming, so I was always farming from the very beginning of my early age. So in 2008 I lost my father, then I went to high school. Then after high school I grew, I went to work. I got jobs from Sped, from Panarotis. I worked, but I didn't get anything from me. I wasn't happy with anything that I get. Even a job, I was not happy with my job, but I was always happy about, I was in Spare. So everything that we were doing cooking, we were cooking food. So I was always interested in who's farming these foods. So I was always wanting that opportunity to farm. I was always interested in farming, wanting to know how to produce a very beautiful peppers and very beautiful veggies like anyone else produces.
Yes.
So exactly, this is how I started.
Okay.
I started in 2020, where there was a lockdown, but really it was before lockdown. So I started planting vegetables. And along my journey, I met another ma'am, which is Mrs. Martha. And then Mrs. Martha introduced me to Umsizi and Sociotech, which those guys are very, 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 very much dedicated to do their job. So they helped me. We went on training. I went on training of how to do organic farming. So I went to training for how to do organic farming. So exactly this is how you do organic farming. You dig a trench, a 30 centimeter trench. After digging a trench, you fill the trench with tins, tins. After pouring tins, you pour bones. After pouring bones, you pour boxes, cut boxes, and food, rotten food, only organic. Put organic food there, and also put grass on top. After grass, you put manure, pral manure. After you stamp on your trench, you stamp on your trench. After you repeat the cycle, you put your tins. After tins, you put the bones. After the bones, you put the cut box and the papers, everything that rottens except the plastic. Don't put plastic. Everything that rottens, you can put it inside. Even clothes, but not a lot of clothes. But even clothes, you can put them inside just for warm to warm your trench. The trench to stay always warm. So after that, after pouring everything, why do we use tins? We use tins for zinc, so it can help the spinach with zinc. Why do we use bones? We use bones for calcium. Why do we use cut boxes and food and rotten food? We use them for organically matters, so that we can have worms, earthworms that are fertilizing the earth, that are fertilizing your trench. So the good thing about this trench organic bedding is because you receive all the water, you harvest all the rainwater, it gets into your trench, it holds there, it keeps the trench very warm. So after that, you can plant. And when planting, this is what we are using. We are using a mulching. We put a mulch on top of the topsoil. We use the topsoil. We use the mulching for topsoil so that we can have organic matters. As the mulching breaks down, it gives the soil fertility and everything. So it is very rich for mulching too. It is very important to put mulching on top of your bed before planting. After planting, you're gonna transplant your vegetables on top of the grass. After planting, you're going to put the grass on top of the bed.
The bedding,
Yes. After that, you water your plants. You water your plants. As the mulch breaks down, it helps the soil. It helps the soil to become fertile. It also regulates soil evaporation, so it doesn't become dry very quickly. It always stays warm. So it is very much important to use mulching when we are using organic farming.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Before you even go far, there's a whole lot of things that you already mentioned, and I want this video now to be more about giving guide to someone on how to actually do it. So I like that you've already told us how to do it, but of course you are going to have to repeat and take us through the entire process.
Yes.
So you mentioned that you started in 2020, of which is something that I like. Like I always say, that some other people during that time were seeing it as a crisis time. But yourself, you saw an opportunity and you used it very effectively, judging from the work that you now have. I like that. And you also mentioned a lot of things, including how the organic is actually done, as well as the mulching and intercropping. So we are going to get into that. So the next question that I'm going to ask you, what is your daily dose of motivation and inspiration? What drives you every morning to want to come to these gardens that you are managing and do the work? What drives you?
Okay, thank you. Firstly, what's driving me to come here every day is my daily prayer. I always pray in the morning, in the day, and in the night. So everything that I'm doing, I'm putting God first. Everything that I do, I always put God first. So He always gives me passion. This is passion that drives me. There's nothing that drives me but passion. I love agriculture, I love farming, I love planting, I love plants. So this is what I like. I like producing Thank you.
That's great. That's great. And then you've already mentioned that you basically grew up around farmers. Your father was a farmer. So I want to ask you, is there maybe another motivation or inspiration that actually made you to come into agriculture? I know that you've already mentioned that you are also passionate about agriculture. So I want to know, is there maybe another factor which made you to come into this specific industry?
Yes, there's another factor that made me to come here on this farming sector. It's because that's when I heard stories on people winning some kind of competition money on their backyard scales. That motivated me that wow, it is possible. Even if you have a small space, but it is possible. You just have to manage your space and give your utmost work on that very small space. Give your utmost work, and then you will get the results. Good results you will get.
That's great. That's great. So now I want to ask you, when you started, was it easy? I know a lot of people, especially in the townships, I will say, when they are thinking about getting into the farming industry, they think about the space, and then someone is going to say that I don't have enough space. So for yourself, was it easy when you started, or maybe you also had that idea that maybe the space that you have is not enough, but looking at now at what you have achieved? So I want to know, was it easy when you started, or maybe where there were preventers that were stopping you from starting?
No, when I started, it was very simple because my father always had a backyard farm.
Okay.
Yes, he had a backyard farm here, so
Okay.
I just extended that backyard farm.
Okay.
I extended the backyard farm, and then I did my plan.
Yes.
So I planned, after writing my plan, this is how I'm going to do this, this is how I'm going to do this. Planning on how am I going to get this nets. I was planning that I'm going to get 4 nets here.
Yes.
So that is how I really got into extending my backyard farm, and then extending, even going further from my pockets, and then buying seedlings, buying airtime, researching, doing a lot of research, going to my mentors. She was always there for us. She was always there for me. Everything that I ask, I always get the answer. So even if I had a problem, Martha, this is what I have, this is what I see in my farm. I have this kind of problem. This thing is eating my plants. No, use organic matter. Use this. You can mix organic garlic. You can mix sunflower oil. You can mix that remedy that we use, so that to prevent pest on our garden.
Okay.
So that is how exactly I got here.
Okay, that's great. That's great. I like that you are mentioning planning, which is very important. It's always said that if you are not planning, you are planning to fail. I like that you're emphasizing the importance of planning before you actually do something, And I also like that you are mentioning the importance of mentorship, having a mentor or someone who has walked the journey and someone who's going to basically guide you. So I hope you aspiring farmers there, you are learning on what he just said, that you are going to need to have a mentor, and you are also going to need a plan. Don't just wake up and do something, even though we say that just start, but it is important for you to actually focus more on planning in order for your thing to become a success. So now I'm going to ask you to please introduce us to the brand Back to the Roots Farming. What is Back to the Roots Farming, and what are you doing there?
Okay, so Back to the Roots Farming is my brand, the name that I gave my farm. So this is what I produce. So I really like history. So I really was a researcher in school.
Yes.
So I did a lot of research. So I did a lot of research on Back to the Roots, or how did we plant it?
Yes.
How did we plant it, we Africans, before Europeans come into our country?
Yes.
So exactly how did we do it? So I did a research, and then I came with the name Back to the Root. So that gave me an inspiration on getting back to the roots, like digging a trench. That is our way long time. That is what we used to do.
Yes.
as Black Africans, doing farming. So that is Back to the Roots. That's how I created it.
Okay.
By looking at my history, back where I'm coming from, and back where Africans were. So that is where Africans is going. If you know where you're coming from, you know where you're going.
Thank you for that. That's very important, you know.
Thank you, thank
You also emphasizing that we shouldn't really forget about where we're coming from, you know. Especially these days, a lot of young people, they actually forget where they are coming from, you know. So it means that we don't really know where we are going,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Thank you for that. And then now I'm going to ask you that which vegetables are you farming? I see there's green pepper, there's also tomato, there's lettuce there's onion. Is that all, or you have other vegetables that you are dealing with?
Yes. So what I'm doing here in my garden, I'm doing a mixed cropping.
Okay.
I'm making intercropping. I also make crop rotation.
Okay.
So exactly, I'm planting everything.
Okay.
From tomatoes, from fixing the soil fixers such as peas, beans, peanuts for fixing my soil, and then after I'm rotating to the tomatoes, spinach, which are heavy feeders to the nitrogen. So
Okay.
as the nitrogen feeders are sucking the nitrogen on the soil, like spinach, peppers, cabbage, you can name them, potatoes. So I do that crop rotation. So exactly after doing the whole crop rotation, I now have the sorry.
It's okay. It's
So
okay.
sorry.
Yes.
So now I after doing the whole crop rotation cycle, I'm starting again from the start,
Okay.
fixing the soil again after doing the nitrogen feeders, after doing the light feeders, which are beetroots, onions, radish.
Okay.
Yeah, those are light feeders. We have to plant them after you have planted spinach and peppers and everything.
Okay, that's great. And it sounds like a very detailed process and very interesting,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us, what is organic farming and why did you choose organic farming? I know not a lot of people know what is organic farming. They don't know what the other one is, you know. So I want to know from you, why did you decide to choose organic farming as opposed to inorganic farming? Yes. And another thing, you've already mentioned that you are using a lot of organic waste, you know, such as your zinc and all of that. So I'm going to ask you to just unpack why are you using all those things. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Organic farming is a farming process using organic matters, only organic matters, no chemicals, no nothing that is man-made. So what are you going to use? We are going to use tins for zinc. We're going to use bones for calcium. As bones decompose in the soil, they give soil calcium. So as you pour another matters that rotten, like boxes, food, and everything besides plastic, those kind of things brings a lot of worms, which rich worms that going to fertilize your soil. So what made me to use organic farming is that I wanted to use 100% organic, because organic is very important. No chemicals inside, no sickness that you are going to face. Only what you are going to have, it's only nutritious food and also vitamins that are coming from a good bed and good everything. So basically I like organic because I don't want anything that is chemical.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. So now I'm going to ask you how to basically start, you know. I know you've already mentioned earlier on, so now I want you to take us through the process. How did you start? What's the first thing that you did, you know, just after you completed with your research, you know? So I want you to take us through the organic farming. Yes.
Okay, so after everything that you are planning after pen and paper, what you do, you collect things all over the location. You collect bones, you collect grass, you collect boxes, you collect food, you put them in one place. Then after you come and dig, you dig a 30 centimeter trench by 80 centimeter. After digging that, you fill the trench with everything that you have collected. After that, you're going to put the mulch on top.
Yes.
So basically, after collecting everything that you have collected, so you can also put what are they?
Tree branches.
Tree branches that you cut from your tree when it's winter. You take those branches, you just put them inside, so that you can have a soil drainage. When you have put the sticks, you just stamp on them. You stamp on them, you stamp it on them. After stamping on them, you put another one on top. You also put the everything that you have collected, like bones and tins and boxes and food and everything, and put grass on top, and then put manure on top. The last layer, it's a grass and manure on top, and then you pour water, little bit of water, so that the grass can be moist and can rotten the boxes and everything after putting the soil on top.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I think we also need to mention that you put organic manure.
Yes.
For someone
organic manure.
Yes.
Ground manure. Yes.
For someone, when you say manure, they are going to quickly think about your
Chemical
NPKs and blends.
1, 2, 3, 2 and 3.
Yes. Okay. So you're putting your organic manure or your
organic
manure or your
manure.
cow manure, like
Yes.
they put it.
Yes.
Okay.
Or your horse's manure, it's up to you.
Okay.
As long it's organic.
Organic.
No chemical.
Okay, that's great. And it's very interesting, given that we know that organic foods, they are really healthy, you know.
Yes.
That's why in stores like your Woolworths, they are so expensive, because you are not going to face challenges with your health in the long run. So I like that. So like, take us through now that I know that this is a township, you know, and I would assume that there is not a lot of cows, if there is any. So how do you collect some of the things that you collect? You know, for example, your cow manure. How do you get it? Is it easy to get it? You know, I'm asking this question because I know maybe there can be someone who's also in a township and wants to do what you are doing. So for you, is it easy to collect some of those things, such as your cow manure, since you are in a place like a township?
Yes, it's very easy for me to go and ask for kral manure on farmers. So
Okay.
you just go to any farmer that you know, you ask them to you ask for kral manure.
Okay.
The kral manure that is long time been sitting there, drainage. Don't take that one just
On top.
Yes. Just don't take that one on top. Just the one that is fresh,
Yes.
that has urine and everything. That one will just bring a lot of damage on your bed. It will bring a lot of ikhulelning.
Okay.
Manje, it's not important that you should take that one. You should take that one that is rotten and ebolileyo kahle kahle.
Yes.
You have to get that one that is rotten. It's seated maybe for 10 years. He's always cleaning his kral and putting there. You go there and then you ask that one. And then after, he's not going to sell you. If he sells to you, it's no problem. Maybe a kind of bag, it will be a 20 rand or 10 rand.
Okay.
So it's very simple if you ask a kral manure from a farm.
Okay, that's great. You know, I now understand even how you named your brand, you know, back to the roots. You remind me back in the days when I was in the Eastern Cape, where we would be going to the fields, you know,
Yes.
and using organic manure. Like, we go Esbayeni and take umgoba there, we dig, and we put it in the planters, you know. We were
Yes.
even using the cows, you know,
Yes.
as the planters. So I like that. So now the question that I'm going to ask you, I know when you are starting something, it can be challenging in terms of finances, you know, and a lot of young people, when they want to start something, they will say that, no, I don't have funding, you know. So for yourself, was it easy when you started? Did you get any funding, or you financed everything from your pocket, or maybe you got assisted along the way?
Okay. So usually starting everything like farming, usually I didn't use anything. I didn't ask any money from anyone.
Okay.
I did from my own pocket and
Okay.
from my mother's pocket.
Okay.
So I did everything with my own hands. So like collecting bones, collecting tins, digging trenches, it doesn't want you money. So
Okay.
a lot of people become lazy because
Yes.
they always wanting money in front.
Yes.
And where else you have to the job in front, and then the work, then the money
Money
comes
comes.
back. So you have to always invest in your hands.
Yes.
Invest in your hands, work hard. So everything that needs money, it will just stop a little bit, and then you continue with that doesn't need you money. So that is how I did it. I didn't get any funding, I didn't get anything. So even this net you get a net if you have dug this trench, 30 centimeter trench.
Yes.
And I also want to Social Tech and Mvelase to go to every youth and everyone in South Africa, because those guys want to help everyone. You can get this, guys. It's everything that you see here, it's possible. Everything that you see here, it's possible. I didn't have 5,000 or 10,000 to start this. I didn't have 500 or 1,000 to start this.
Yes.
I only had dedication, passion, and hard working only.
That's great. That's great. That's great. I like what you are mentioning. You know, a lot of people, they think that in order for you to start something, you're going to need 50,000 from NYDA. You know,
Yes.
and I think I do agree with you saying that sometimes people, they just become lazy. You know. And I like the fact that yourself, you invested what you had, you know, which is basically the conversation that we are pushing out there, that you start with what you have, you know. But I know this is not going to sound appealing to some other people, because some other people, they want to start fancy using other people's money, you know. And you also don't want to invest in your craft or invest in your project, you know. You want someone to come and help you, you know. And like I always say, that help is going to come while you are moving, you know. And I want to mention to you that I want you to explain to us, you mentioned that you found along the way the organizations such as your Social Tech as well as the Mvelase company. So can you please tell us about those? What are they doing, you know? I believe they are in the agricultural sector. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes.
What are they doing, and how can they help young people in townships and maybe in rural areas who just want to start farming?
Okay. So Social Tech and Mvelase, it's a company founded by the mining sectors and everyone. So those people wanted to help farmers along South Africa. Every farmer in South Africa, they even enjoy, they even like to see youth getting involved in farming.
Yes.
They always help everyone, to old ladies, old farmers. So basically they help everyone. Even if you just contact them, they will be there in your place. Wherever you're in Limpopo, you're in Mpumalanga, you're in Eastern Cape, you're in KwaZulu-Natal. If Mvelase wants you there, they will be there. If you want Mvelase to be there, they will be there. Yes.
That's great. That's great. You know, guys, I really enjoy meeting young farmers, because I'm learning every day. You know, it's my first time learning about such a company, you know.
Yes.
And I've met with many young farmers, you know, but it's my first time, and I believe that the help that these companies provide, it can also help those young farmers, you know, and to also maybe encourage them to go the organic way, you know, because it's actually quite good to do it in that way, right?
Yes.
So now I want to ask you, when you started, did you get any support from the people that are close to you, you know? Because I know that sometimes when you start something, it's not easy to convince people to believe in your vision. And you are not going to even have your closest people supporting you, you know. So I want to ask you, was it easy? Did you get any support from anyone that is close to you, apart from these companies, you know?
Yes. So yes, very important one, very important one. You have to have someone believing in your dreams next to you. That is very important, guys. So I had my girlfriend next to me. I had my mom next to me. My mom helped me with everything. If I need a car, you borrow me a car. My girlfriend helped me with everything, from trenches, from digging trenches, from doing everything here. Even this net, we together installed the nets together as two. So everything that we did, I did it with my girlfriend. My girlfriend was always supportive. He believed in me before anything. He believed in the unseen.
Yes.
Until everything becomes visible like this, everything comes true. So I would like to thank her very much with her support. So guys, it's very important to get someone close to believe in you, to get someone close to support you, even if it could be someone outside, not inside the house.
Yes.
But even if he just supports you, you just have to appreciate that and move on with that. Thank
That's
you.
great. That's great. That's great. I like that, you know, and I'm inspired. It reminds me of the saying that you should, when you consider dating, you should date someone who really goes hand in glove with your future vision, you know.
Yes,
And it
yes.
shows that you guys are actually going somewhere. That's great. That's great. And then you mentioned when we started the conversation the importance of mentorship. You know, you mentioned Miss Marta. Can you please tell us about the importance of mentorship and having a mentor when you are starting your farming journey?
Yes. It is very, very much to have a mentor. A mentor, number one, a good thing about a mentor, she always puts you in front. She always believes in you. Like a mentor helps you to achieve many things, because if you have a problem, you just ask him. No, this is what I have in my farm. This is what 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 2, 3. No, that thing you just do it like this and like this, like that. Like, she's a problem solver to me. A mentor, she's a problem solver to me. Anything that I'm asking, I can get. So even if a mentor, she always goes out of the hand of her pocket. She can always take, no, I can always give you that seedlings and that seedlings and that seedlings. So you see, that is motivation to you. You always rise up, and then everything is possible. Like, you believe that everything is possible. So mentorship, it's very important, because you will never give up. You will never go hungry for information if you have a mentor. If you have a hungry information for men, you go to your mentor, you ask her, what is this, how am I doing this, how can I tackle this challenge that I'm facing. So mentorship is very important. You have to mention it in your plans. You have to have a mentor. Look for someone who's doing what you want to do.
Yes.
Go to that person, swallow your pride, ask help. Thank you.
That's great. That's great. I hope you guys are learning. I hope you guys are learning that you are going to need a mentor in your journey. You are going to have to find it yourself, right? So now I want to ask you, what are some of your biggest wins and your biggest losses that you have experienced along your journey?
My biggest wins in this journey, I have received nets where my plants are protected. Even if a hail, storm, everything can come, it's a win for me.
Okay.
I'm not stressed with anything that could happen.
Yes.
And then my win is that I have made my thing. I've made my dream is coming true.
Yes.
Like, my goal, I'm there. So everything that I where I am now, I'm very, 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 very impressive. I can see that I'm going far.
Yes.
So I'm very happy with what I've won. And I've also won self-control.
Yes.
I know how to control myself now. Even if, like, business is important to me.
Yes.
What I'm doing here, it's business. So this is investment to me. I take it very serious. Like everyone on job, they can tell you that take your job very serious, because it's your food.
Yes.
So this is my food, this is my baby, this is my job, this is my everything, this is my investment. This is where I invest. If I want everything if I want clothing, I can just come here from this money, and then I take it. I'm using this. If my son's short with something from school, I take from this money. I'm using this, and so it's very, very impressive, and it's very, very helpful for me.
Okay, that's great. That's great. And the losses, have you experienced any losses?
I've experienced losses. I've lost friends.
Okay.
I've lost friends which I thought they were friends, but they were fake friends.
Okay.
Yes. Number two, my losses, I've also lost a passion for working for another person.
Okay.
So I'm working for so it's a loss for me to work for another person. As for looking from where I come in from, I was always looking for a job. Always, like, even if you don't hire me, my heart is broken.
Okay.
Yes, so that is a loss for me.
Okay.
So, and it's a win again for me.
Okay.
So it's both.
Okay, that's great.
Thank you.
That's great. That's great. I like that. And then now I'm going to ask you, after you've produced these, I see now that they are even ready for harvest. Where do you sell them?
Okay. Usually in our location there are markets. There's a market, open field market, where everyone in the location come there. They sell clothing, they sell food, they sell everything, dishes, everything that is sellable. It's an auction. So
Okay.
there's an auction in my location. That's where I sell my things.
Okay.
On Wednesday, every Wednesday there's an auction. I go there, and then for auction, and then in Carletonville there's another auction on Thursday. If that side my harvest it was not finished,
Yes.
I go to the Carletonville Fantis.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. That's great. You know, this is also another innovative way of doing things. You know,
Yes.
like I said, I'm learning, guys, that you know, some other locations they even have auctions. You know, so you are not relying on taking your produce to some shops out there, but you're selling it yourself, right?
Yes.
That's
Yes.
great. That's great. So can you please take us through like the things that you do in the process of selling? You know. I know that some other people it would involve like record taking and all of that. So with yourself, what do? You have produced your produce, now you are taking it to the market to sell it. What other processes that are involved there?
Number one important process is a record keeping. That's what I'm doing. Record keeping, everything that I'm harvesting here, I'm recording it down. I'm writing it down. If someone comes here and buys something, I record it down. My sale, these are my sales.
Yes.
This is what I sold today. This is how much I've sold today. This is the amount that I have received today.
Okay.
And then I put the paper inside my book.
Okay.
I take my expenses paper. I take my expenses. I multiply. I minus my expenses like my petrol, my daily bread, my airtime, my data, my everything. That is how I'm doing it.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yes.
So out of all the things that you are doing, I see that you are a farmer, and you are not just a farmer, you're also an entrepreneur or agripreneur, as you would call it.
Yes.
So which one do you enjoy most? Are you enjoying maybe when you take your produce to the market, or you are enjoying when you are planting and actually see your things grow? Which one do you enjoy most?
What I enjoy most, I like producing. I like to see myself in the fields.
Okay.
What I like someone to go and sell for me
Okay.
while I'm in the field.
Okay.
That's what I like.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. Okay, and then what tips would you give to a young farmer like yourself, who's maybe in the township, you know, and not limited to that, of course, or maybe in the rural areas? What tips would you give them? That's 3 tips that you can give them.
Okay. 3 tips I can give a young farmer out there, or anyone wanting to get into the journey. Number 1, believe in yourself.
Okay.
Number 2, it's possible. Everything that you think, it's possible. Your thoughts are the architect of your dreams. So everything that you are thinking, take it serious.
Yes.
Believe in yourself. So number two, hard work with your hands. Do your job with your hands. Don't wait for someone to invest in you.
Okay.
You should take the risk. Not someone should take the risk with
Yes.
their man. You should take the risk with your
your-
own self and
Yes.
and your own energy and own time, with your own everything. The investors they will just
Find
be
you
a
on the
bonus.
way. Yes.
They are just the bonus on your dreams.
Yes.
So just bear in mind that everything that you are dreaming, you have to work hard for it. From everything, from digging to selling,
Yes.
to record keeping, to savings, to everything, you have to do the whole job. Just bear in mind. Thank you.
Okay, that's great. That's great. That's great. And then now the question that I'm going to ask you is that what words would you give to encourage young people who are seated at home and not having jobs? You know, we are in South Africa and there's a problem of unemployment. You know,
Okay.
and some of those people, they even went to school, they have university qualifications, but they are not finding jobs, right?
Okay.
And then the second question is that would you encourage young people to get into agriculture?
Yes. So my number 1 saying it will be, everyone on earth came with a purpose. So
Yes.
guys, you yourself, you came with a reason. So you have a purpose on earth. Find your purpose. Find what God wants you to do.
Yes.
Find your gift. What is your capability? If you know what your capabilities, you'll know where you want to go. you'll know exactly field that is suitable for your goals and your blessings. So what I can say to you guys, know thyself. Go and search for yourself. Do research on yourself. Who are you? Do your research. What your forefathers did. Then you will know who are you. And then number 2, what I can say, unemployment rate is too high, guys. We should do the job. We should create jobs.
Yes.
We can create jobs.
Yes.
Everything that we think it is possible. I can say to you, everyone should come into South Africa. Everyone in South Africa should come into farming sector, because in farming sector we have to do food security, guys.
Yes.
As you can see, there's unemployment rate. Unemployment rate is too high, but the land is too big,
Yes.
and the
Yes.
people are too much. The energy is there. Everything is there. The power is there. We can do it. Everything is possible, guys. You can see all over the place, all over the locations. People, they don't want to farm. People, they don't want to do anything. But guys, even if we can farm, if we can go back to the roots, our roots are farming.
Yes.
Our roots as black
Exactly.
people are farming. So if we can go back to our roots, we can know where we are going.
That's great. That's great. Thank you for that. And then, what event? It can be an event, or it can be a movie or a song that had a positive impact in your life. It can be an event, it can be a person, it can be anything that had a positive impact in your life.
It's getting support for my girlfriend.
Okay.
It's getting support for my girlfriend. It's singing gospel songs, going back to the church, praying to God. That gave me an impact. That gave me an impact in my farming sector, in my journey. So connecting with God and with my gods and my ancestors gave me the energy to do what I'm doing now.
Okay. What are your future aspirations for Back to the Roots Farming? When I come here in the next 10 years, what should I expect to see?
After 10 years or in the future, what I see Back to the Roots, I want to see Back to the Roots as an institution teaching young black Africans who are they, where they coming from, teaching their culture, teaching their history, retaining heritage on us. So basically Back to the Roots, it's getting back to ourselves, deleting everything that Europeans had an impact on us, and getting back to our roots. So that is what I want on Back to the Roots. I want the institution, I want to build schools where they could teach everyone anything.
Yes,
That is what I'm looking to.
that's great. That's great. And then if someone wants to connect with you, where can they find you? You can tell us about your location, your social media, as well as your address. Yes, basically.
Okay, where you can find me in Carletonville, Kutsong Extension 2 location, Scopas, Ramatibe Street 4772 address, or you can get me on Facebook, Mvelase, or you can get me on this number 063 982 3963. I can repeat it, 063 982 3963. That's where you can get me.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This is the end. If you enjoyed the video, thank you so much. And Mr. Mvelase, thank you so much for allowing me to come here. I wish you all the best in your future endeavors, and can't wait to come back here in the next few years and see the progress that you would have done. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you.